Hey guys, so this actually is my first time going live in probably a super long time. But I want to go live because I've really been trying to work on just like reading the Bible more and really just trying to make it a habit and not just reading the Bible like once a week or, once a month or whenever I feel like it. I've really been trying to find a passage to read every day. And it's something that I want to try to get in the habit of sharing the passages that I'm reading with all of you guys. And so today I was really thinking about how the struggle for materialism can be so real, especially with it being the holidays, with, people Christmas shopping and all of that stuff. And literally during the day today, I was like looking at shoes and I started to realize that I was starting to feel stressed. And it just made me think about how when we're consuming and we're living in this world of constantly looking for new things and buying new things, there's a certain level of anxiety that comes with that because no matter what it is that we have, we feel like it may never be enough. Even if we buy one pair of shoes today, tomorrow we're going to want another pair. Or tomorrow we're going to want an outfit that matches that pair of shoes. And then we're going to want, another outfit that matches the pair of shoes we already have. And it's just this constant cycle that we find ourselves in this cycle of, oh, I need this or I need this. And we find ways to justify it. We might say, oh, well, I need to have a specific, pair of shoes for work. And so we buy that pair of shoes. And whether they're some running shoes or whatever. And then after we get that pair, we say, oh, well, actually, I need another pair of running shoes because I want to have a pair that's more minimalist or whatever, or a pair that's thicker cushion, whatever. And it's like we just constantly find ways to justify buying new things, whether that's, oh, well, I have a pair of Nike running shoes for work, but they just came out with another pair that's supposed to be better or whatever. And so you buy that next pair. And then you think, oh, well, I actually don't have Hokas, so let me get a pair of Hokas. And then you get some Hokas. And then before you know it, it turns into one of those things where after you get Hokas, you're like, okay, well, now I want some Adidas running shoes or New Balance. And it's just this cycle that never ends. Meanwhile, in the process, you just end up getting to this point, getting to this level where you're constantly stressing yourself out about, oh, what pair of shoes do I want? What pair of, clothes do I want to match the shoes? And at the time, we just think, oh, well, no, we're just trying to make our lives better. We're just trying to buy things to make things easier or more exciting. But at the end of the day, we're creating unnecessary stress for ourselves. And so, literally, I was reading the Bible today, and in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, I'm going to read Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24. And basically, it says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, then your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. And so this passage to me is just so symbolic of where we are as a society. Because when you think about how, he says, the how it says in the Bible, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. That part really just talks to me about how we can tend to obsess over, oh, I need a sneaker collection because I love shoes. Oh, I need a hat collection because I love hats. Oh, I'm a sneakerhead, so I need to collect as many shoes as possible, as many different companies, as many different colors, all the hype sneakers. But what we don't realize is that we're storing up earthly treasures and we're not keeping treasures that ultimately are going to last us a long time. We're simply thinking about, oh, well, I just need this thing because that's what everybody's doing, right? I need this thing because people have told me I'm a sneakerhead. And so we just fascinate ourselves and we become obsessed with collecting these earthly treasures that ultimately thieves can destroy. Thieves can destroy them. Thieves can take them. They can be taken away. And when we look at that, it really is relevant because when we put our faith in God and we put our trust in Him, and instead of obsessing over collecting shoes, we start to focus on reading scripture. We put our focus towards working on our prayer life. These are things that nobody can take from you. And so that's another reason why I'm trying to get in the habit of reading the Bible more consistently, because ever since, the last few days when I've been reading the Bible more, I've been trying to pray more, I've just felt this overwhelming sense of peace and calm. And because of that, it just tells me that God has really wanted me to do this for a long time. God has really wanted me to get closer with Him. He's wanted me to read the Bible more, to form that deeper relationship with Him. And because I've been putting that off, I'd been feeling this stress in my heart, this tension of, should I buy this? Should I buy that? And instead of going to these self-help books or self-help videos, it's like God has just been telling me, whenever you're stressed, come to me and stop relying on other people to help you with things that I can help you with. And so, because of that, literally just reading this verse tonight just brought me so much peace. And it reminds me of the song, it's by Forrest Frank, and I think it's called Rich Man. And he really just talks about how, as long as you have love in your life, you're a rich man. And it's not about acquiring material things. And he has another song called The Present, I think. And I think I recorded a short reacting to it, but he basically talks about the same thing in there, where he talks about just having friends and family be present and not focusing on, oh, well, I need this thing to feel accomplished, or I need to get a PS5 in order to feel like it was a good Christmas. But just understanding that as long as we've got love in our life, we've got people in our lives who care for us, and we ultimately know that at the end of the day, God cares for us regardless. And because of that, we know as long as we have God in our lives, we're rich people for sure. And we're not concerned about, oh, well, I have X amount of money or X amount of, material possessions, because material possessions come and go. And one of the messages I heard at church probably a few weeks ago talked about how everything on earth belongs to God anyway. These things that we have, these shoes, the clothes, the houses, the cars, these are things that we're only using for our time here on earth. Ultimately, once we pass away and we join God in heaven, those things are going to stay here on earth. And so there's no point in stressing and obsessing over collecting these material things when truly we know that God is really who we should be going after. And truly, when we seek God in the Bible, we understand that this is a kind of peace that, only God can give. And this is a kind of peace that doesn't come and go. Because when you also buy shoes or when you buy new things, that good feeling comes and goes. And I've felt this myself with shoes. It's like I'll buy a pair of shoes. It feels great for like 2 days. And then after that, I'm looking for another one and then another one. And it's just living on this wave of like highs and lows and living based off of these dopamine rushes that you get every time you buy a pair of shoes just truly isn't good for your mental health and for your emotional health as well. And so then in Matthew chapter 6, verse 22, he says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" And so here, what it means a lot to me because basically what this verse is talking about is that your eyes determine everything. So like how I was talking about with just going on just going on like websites like Finish Line or Foot Locker and shopping for shoes, you're filling your eyes with darkness if you don't need shoes because now you're causing yourself to think in a materialistic and in a way where you're so focused on acquiring material things that now you're starting to miss the main point of life, which is if we directed half of the energy that we directed into acquiring material things, into growing closer with God, we would feel an overwhelming sense of peace. And then we would have light in our eyes and not darkness. And so the light in our eyes would bring us that overwhelming sense of peace and calm. And so then in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, it says, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." And this is a verse that I've definitely heard numerous times, but it just hit extra hard today because I truly just feel like that's something that I've been struggling with is that feeling of like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I go to church and yeah, like I want to buy new things, but oh, they don't matter. I'm not putting them on a pedestal. And it becomes one of those questions where it's like, okay, well, if I'm not putting these things on a pedestal, why is it that I'm spending more time shopping online for shoes or shopping online for clothes than I'm spending reading my Bible? Because if I'm spending more time doing those things, how can I say in good conscience that those things aren't becoming my master over, God? And so reading that passage today was a great reminder that it's not necessarily bad to buy things or to want things, but when you allow that thing or the acquisition of that thing to become your master, that's where the problem occurs. And as long as we know that we serve one God, we serve a great God, and we put our energy into him, if we, shop occasionally, but we shop very intentionally, there's nothing wrong with that. But shopping should never become such a dominant part of your day that you're spending all of your time, you're devoting all of your time to shopping and getting the latest and greatest. Because if that's all that we're doing, when you focus so hard on that, there's no time left for God at all. And when there's no time left for God, the only place, the only person there's room for is the devil and just chasing these material things. And that's what the devil wants. The devil wants to pull you away from God. And so as long as he's accomplishing that, he's happy. But if you're rooted in the word, if you're rooted in God and you're aware of who you are and what the purpose of these material things is, then you can find joy in just embracing the things that you do have. And you can find joy in loving the things that you do have instead of constantly looking for joy in other things. And so, yeah, you guys, I just wanted to go live tonight real quick and to talk about that verse because it really was a powerful verse when I read it tonight. And so I hope that you guys got something from this live. If you guys enjoy, videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to all of you guys in the next one. And so I would also say that um, I just saw this comment. I would say if you're going through anything in life right now, is to know that everything happens for a reason. And I would say that even if you're going through a tough time and it feels like it's just raining all the time and all of that, to just have faith and to know that someday, one day, the sun is going to come up, and that if you're going through something tough, it's tough, but it's meant to help you to enjoy the good moments. And when it does feel like it's just raining and raining, um, it makes the sun that much sweeter. And so I would say to, yeah, just understand that um, we serve a great God, we serve a loving God, and that there's a reason why you're going through what it is that you're going through. And so I truly pray for you, and I hope that if you see this, that you know that I'm praying for you, and that one day everything will be okay. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video as well. And I'll talk to all of you guys in the next one.